And we're talking today about the establishment of the School of Psychology Reconciliation Action Plan, which we think might have been 2008. It actually preceded the University of Queensland Reconciliation Action Plan and was in the context of what non-Australians might not know is a sort of broad movement to try and make reconciliation part of the institutional agenda of universities, of corporations of the country. And so the idea would be that a corporation or a university would make a commitment to further reconciliation between settler society and First Nations peoples, and that they would establish concrete KPIs, that they would say, we don't have the right support for students, we need more staff, and that they would try and make that a part of their actual professional and institutional commitments. And so, Paul, when you developed this idea, it was really novel. How did you come up with the plan that we would have a plan?
Well, I'd heard about reconciliation action plans and I didn't really know that much about them. But I thought it could be a very tangible thing to put it on the agenda, that, to raise the whole issue of First Nations issues and the need for it. The need was to teach the non-Indigenous students more about First Nations issues, but
Right.
We're also very aware of the lack of First Nations students enrolling in psychology, and thought, is that because it's culturally unsafe, culturally irrelevant? What were the reasons for that? But we needed to. Part of the development of the Reconciliation Action Plan was to do a survey of the staff. So the first thing, in the process of developing it was to actually just send a survey around to all the staff to find out what they were actually teaching, if anything. And the results of that really, it came back that there wasn't anything much happening. Not just that it wasn't happening, but there was a fear of actually introducing it because there's this, this Australian, white Australian kind of fear that you're going to make some kind of cultural breach and, do something wrong, it's best avoided. So there was actually a fear of introducing First Nations issues into courses. So that was not a culturally safe environment for First Nations students. So part of the motivation of the Reconciliation Action Plan to put it on the agenda was to try and increase the confidence of non-Indigenous staff to be able to address those issues and make it a more culturally safe environment and try and attract more First Nations students. We had one of our first clinical psychology students told me that she enrolled at UQ because we had a Reconciliation Action Plan.
Yeah, I mean, it was a full signal.